Hey students, so today we're going to be talking about linkage institutions. Now, linkage institution by definition is anything that connects the people to the government. Now, the three main linkage institutions that we're going to be looking at today are political parties, interest groups, and the media. So we looked at several different sources which had each of the types of linkage institutions and each of the types of methods that the people are connected to the government. So the sources we looked at are both conservative and liberal. And what we decide to focus on is gun rights and gun control. In the following clips from our group, we are going to explain different sources as examples to show you how media, interest groups, and political parties affect everyday people. With each source, we looked at how they are biased through logical fallacies. Now, let's go into the individual clips about each linkage institution. Hi, I analyzed one of the Brady campaign articles, and the Brady campaign is a highly liberal interest group. And their view on our issue, which is gun control once again, is to have more governmental control of guns. Now, the interest group is highly biased. All of the article is entirely biased. The article uses logical fallacies such as appeal to fear and red herrings. One example of a red herring is when they give a statistic about suicides that happen in a home. Now, suicides have nothing to do with the article, which is about school shootings. An example of an appeal to fear is when they mention the quote from a dad saying, "My son will be 6 years old forever." Now that applies to the fear of parents that their children will die. They also mention a lot about how many kids die by firearm, but they do not mention at all where the kids die or where they got the guns from. Now, an interest group, which is what Pamela and I did for our articles, is a group of people that draw together to support an issue and push it through politics.
This campaign was created based on a shared interest on gun rights. They believe that by having gun control, it increases the rate of violence among the community. Is this right? Political ideology of the source is liberal. For those who are not sure of what it means to be liberal, it means to be open to a new behavior or opinions and willing to eliminate the standard tradition of values. Evidence to support why I believe the source is liberal is that literally all the information provided is negative outcomes that gun control brings. Their intended audience is people who are liberal. Republicans generally support gun ownership rights and oppose laws regulating guns, although some Republicans favor limited restrictions in some urban areas on the grounds of public safety. Brady's campaign provides many statistics on how guns have been used in situations to harm people, such as in attempting suicide or being murdered by killers. This is biased because it leaves out the fact that guns have also been used as a source of defense. In the past, guns have saved many lives. Police use guns to attack criminals, others use guns to simply protect themselves from the danger. Unable to find any logical fallacies, but it's still biased because it doesn't acknowledge the good use of gun control.
Hi, I had the opportunity to analyze a source taken from media. Media, as we all may know, is any type of mass communication, whether that is the TV, internet, magazines, newspapers, or others, that may provide people with information that is either aimed to persuade a person or educate a person. If media aims to persuade rather than educate a person, then it is considered biased, and we see this in the source that I chose to analyze. I chose to analyze Rachel Maddow, one of the news reporters on MSNBC, and her point of view in arguments over gun control. The political ideology of MSNBC is liberal. With this in mind, could you guess Rachel Maddow's view on gun control? That's right, she is against gun control. A typical liberal view on the use of gun control is to make it so that it's harder to obtain a gun. Liberals believe that the Second Amendment does not give citizens the right to bear arms, but gives only the states the right to bear arms. He believes that citizens should not be given the privilege to own a gun because of the dangers it has brought in the past and the dangers it is bound to bring in the future. Rachel Maddow is biased because of the fact that she only states her view on the issue and fails to acknowledge the opposing side. To support her view, she uses emotional, touching stories such as the famous Sandy Hook shooting, where a number of innocent children were shot and killed. It also mentions the shooting that happened in Tucson, Arizona, where U.S. Representative Gabriel Giffords was shot and injured. Some logical fallacies I found in Maddow's argument was appeal to celebrity and the use of pathos. She referred to a former U.S. Representative, Gabriel Giffords, who was shot and injured at a shooting in Arizona. This suggests to viewers that if a famous person is not safe, then we shouldn't feel safe. Her use of pathos also gets viewers emotional, which gets them to agree with her more. This creates bias because viewers are not exposed to stories where guns have been known to save lives. Without this, they can't judge from themselves. They're only left to judge off of stories where guns have been known to hurt people. And now, passing the mic on to Andrew. Oh, you don't want it? Okay.
For my linkage institution, I was able to analyze Senator Rand Paul and his point of view and argument over the Second Amendment and gun control. His political ideology for the gun control and Second Amendment were very conservative. The reason why I believe he is very conservative is because from what his arguments were portraying and what he was trying to say pointed in a direction of very conservative. Rand Paul's views on gun control is that there should be less restrictions on people that are able to buy guns, as well as the Second Amendment should not be infringed upon. When Rand Paul gives his takes on gun control, he never mentions any of the positive sides of creating requirements to gun controls, and only degrades what has happened in creating more and more legal laws against guns. In his speeches, Rand Paul claims that most gun shootings happen in areas where there are very strict gun laws, including malls and schools. He also claims that if personnel in those areas had guns, they would have a better chance for self-defense. What he fails to mention is stats and research regarding those points. What he says may be true, but then again, it may be false. With this weakens his argument because he doesn't have any facts to back up his claims that guns will have a better chance at creating a safer environment than without guns.
Thank you for watching our video. I hope you learned more about what to be aware of when you're watching political media, and that, you learned something new.
And he, oh my god.
This report is not
Really protect themselves from danger.
He'll be 6 years old forever.